All right, let's talk about what I honestly believe is the single most important skill in the professional world today. And that is learning how to learn. Seriously, it's not just a nice to have, it's a genuine superpower. So let's break down how you can get the superpower, and we'll start with why it matters so much right now. So why all the buzz around this one skill? Well, to put it simply, the ground is just constantly shifting under our feet, you know? The expertise that got you in the door today might not be what keeps you in the game tomorrow. I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single day, there's new software, new policies, new business models rolling out. In that kind of environment, your current knowledge kind of has an expiration date on it, and that date is coming up faster and faster. Which, of course, brings us to a really important question. If what you know today could be out of date tomorrow, what's the one skill that actually gives you long-term security and the ability to adapt? And the answer, which might surprise you a little, isn't about just piling on more facts or getting another certificate. It's not about being the person who already knows everything. And this right here, this is the whole ballgame. The real competitive advantage you have isn't what's already in your head. It's how good you are at tackling what's not in your head yet. It's about being able to jump into something new with both speed and confidence. Okay, so here's the really good news. Learning how to learn is, well, it's a skill you can learn. It's not magic, there's a science to it. And to really get it, we've got to bust a super common myth that holds a lot of people back. So many of us have this quiet belief that some people are just born fast learners. But here's the thing, the research shows us that's just not true. Learning isn't some fixed talent you either have or you don't. It's a structured, repeatable process that absolutely anyone can master. So what does that process look like? Well, a ton of research shows that real learning, the kind that sticks, happens in cycles. It's not about just passively reading a book or zoning out to a video. It's about actively wrestling with the material, trying things, getting it wrong, and trying again. And these learning cycles are powered by 4 timeless, science-backed techniques. Think of them as your learning toolkit. You've got retrieval practice, which is just actively pulling info out of your memory, spacing, spreading out your learning over time, self-explanation, basically teaching it to yourself, and self-regulated learning, where you become the project manager of your own learning. These are the gears that make the machine work. Okay, so that's the timeless theory. It's great, but how do we actually use these techniques in our day-to-day work, especially now with amazing tools like AI at our fingertips? Well, that's where we move from techniques to what we're calling pathways. And this is such a key distinction to get. Those techniques we just talked about, that's the why. That's the science behind what makes learning work. But the pathways we're about to dive into, that's the how. These are the practical, repeatable workflows that put that science into action. Let's jump into pathway number 1, the explainer. The goal here is super simple. I want to understand this thing so well that I could explain it clearly to someone else. This is perfect for a manager who needs to brief their team or a consultant who needs to get a client up to speed fast. You force yourself to synthesize everything, and that's an incredibly powerful way to learn. Pathway 2 is the Socratic tutor. Now this one's cool because instead of just dumping info on you, it starts by asking you a bunch of questions. It's like a diagnostic for your brain. This is an absolute game changer if you're prepping for a big interview or you're just trying to figure out what you don't know about a topic. It finds the gaps first, so you can learn way more efficiently. Next up, the micro-project workflow. This one is for any time you need to learn an applied, hands-on skill. For developers, designers, data analysts, really any doer. This is pure gold. You learn by actually creating a small, real thing and then getting immediate, targeted feedback on it. It's deliberate practice in action. And finally, we've got the retrieval coach. This entire workflow is designed to do one thing: make learning stick for good. By making you answer quiz questions, it directly forces you to use retrieval and spacing, 2 of the most powerful memory tools we have. This is a must-use for anyone studying for a certification or needing to lock in complex information. So we have these 4 powerful pathways. But the real magic starts to happen when you don't just use one in isolation, but you start combining them to solve messy, real-world professional challenges. Let's see what that actually looks like. All right, let's try a scenario. Situation A. Your boss tells you that you need to learn thematic analysis. Like, this week. It's urgent. So pause for a second and think about it. Which of those pathways would you combine? A really great approach here would be to fire up the micro-project path. to get your hands dirty with some actual data right away. And then follow that up with the retrieval coach to quiz yourself and make absolutely sure that new method is locked in your brain. Okay, let's try one more. You've been tasked with creating a new training plan. You've got a pile of survey data and interview notes to work from. It's a complex task with a lot of moving parts. Where do you even begin? Here, a really powerful sequence is to start with the Socratic tutor to challenge your own assumptions and really get clear on the constraints. Then, once you have that clarity, you can switch to the explainer pathway to structure and communicate your final plan in a super clear, compelling way. So let's bring this all back to that big idea from the beginning. We can learn anything. This does not mean learning is suddenly effortless or that you're going to become an expert overnight. Not at all. What it does mean is that you can approach any new challenge without fear because you now have a reliable process for getting better. And this is the real takeaway. In a world that is changing constantly, the ability to learn effectively and confidently is not a luxury. It's not a soft skill. It is a core professional capability, every bit as important as knowing how to manage a project or communicate clearly. So I'll leave you with this. You now have 4 practical, powerful workflows you can use: the Socratic tutor, the explainer, the micro project, and the retrieval coach. The only question left is, which one are you going to try first to start learning better today?